Good evening, Internet World and Universe. This is OR Ash, and today we'll be discussing the latest issue and 9th chapter of the rising webcomic 5 Years Later. This chapter, Time Out, features lots of game-changing elements to the Five Whale storyline and lore for the series featured in its multiverse. Ben Tennyson has activated the Powerhouse playlist, unleashing some new, powerful forms like Soarnitho, MonKi, and its advanced state, Super MonKi. Vlad Plasmius and Danny Phantom are starting to tap into their true potential of ecto-energy by awakening their ghost forms. Not to mention our big bad Eon has successfully used the Godmaker to evolve himself into an ultimate Cronian, crowning himself under the new name Divinity. To break down this action-packed addition to the world of 5 Years Later is the writer and illustrator of the series, Kuro the Artist.
Hey guys, it's me, Blue Skull Man, beep beep boot butt gay alien X.
And joining us today is the vocally talented Kellen Goff, who's a big fan of 5 Years Later and the franchise as it crosses over.
You should be more careful.
Here I come!
Kellen was also recently the voice of his own creations Mantabolt and Bullwark in one of our projects, which we'll be discussing today. But first, our good bro Fro the Fro has a quick message for you!
You know, everybody always asks, what if Ben 10 this, what if Ben 10 that? Nobody ever asks, what if this was an ad for
Raid Shadow Legend? Be bored no more when playing this action-packed RPG game. It is free to play and readily available on both PCs and mobile devices. Hey guys, it's Fro the Bro.
Hey guys, it's Fro the Bro with the Fro, and I've been playing Raid Shadow Legends. No, don't fast forward, seriously, wait! I have been. Kel is a dark elf who uses poison magic to vanquish their foes. Their acid rain attack is a surefire way to quickly diminish the enemy lines. Feeling greedy and want more? Use the portal to summon other cool soldiers to fight by your side. Sacrificing the weak to make another strong? Hell yeah! Upgrade your characters in the tavern. Challenge yourself to your edge in the ongoing tournaments. Compete against the entire raid community while fighting the Spider's Den, Ice Golem's Peak, the Almighty Fire Knight, or the Notorious Dragon. And now in Raid Patch 1.15 coming in May, with it you'll be able to compete in the brand new arena tournament. Earn points according to your tier and win awesome rewards in the local and global tournament.
Go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you are a new player, you will get 100,000 silver plus 1 free champion. Grumbler, join the Ink Tank Guild today. There's only a maximum of 30 members, so be swift. There's a general and clan chat, so you can interact with the community while you play.
God, what is that? Is that from all the stuff fire, all this smoke? What?
In one of our recent videos, Everything the Omnitrix Can Do, the video begins and ends with an animation featuring Ben Tennyson transformed into 2 new aliens, Mantabolt and Bullwark, who were both created and voiced by yourself. Could you tell us more about these aliens and what it was like to come up with them?
So, Mantabolt and Bullwark have been around for a long time. I made them in high school back when, I didn't know that anything was going to ever come of them. Mantabolt was always this, he's like a big fish dude with like a UFO like circumference for a head and a big old manta tail or whatever. And you guys took that and ran with that. I never thought of making the tail into its own electric firing thing. And same with Bullwark. I kind of like that you got rid of his neck. The nose, I think I did the nose that way, but you sort of shaped the nose so that it looked like he had 2 mouths, and I kind of like that too. But you made the arms that make him Bullwark look incredible. Fun fact, those are based off of, in Prototype 2, you get this ability where you can shield yourself from like rockets and bullets and stuff, and your arms just sort of turn into like these big callousy, like, I don't know, black shields. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I took that and ran with that. I was super pumped to see them both like in motion. Like it's like, I want this to be how my child looks when it's born. It's like, oh, my child, he has been born, and he is talking, and it's my voice coming out of my child. I don't know. That's probably the worst comparison ever, but
that's when things get confusing.
Yeah, but it was really exciting to be able to bring voice to them and accelerate. He was one of my first favorite aliens, so I always loved him from the main series and on.
How would you explain what Mantabolt and Bullwark can do, and what their species are like?
So yeah, I'll start with Bullwark because he's a bit more fleshed out. Bullwark comes from a planet called Agaris. It's a planet of ponds and farmland and open plains. There's the Praesidian Tormentons, that's Bullwark's species, who do most of the labor and the grunt work and, you know, the lower class stuff. And then there's the farmer aliens, the Agarians, who make the laws and entertainment and sell the crops and make the money. There's kind of a prejudice thing going on between the two because the Agarians think the Tormentons are too big and clumsy and they can't fit into society, so they put them out of the way. And while the Tormentons, you know, they have a lot to offer. They're their own people, and they make a really good soup akin to Terran gumbo. Yeah, they are not, you know, they shouldn't be counted out. So there's rising tensions in the cycle of that place. So that's sort of where Bullwark species, the Tormentons, they get angry very easily by instinct because, you know, for as long as the species has been around, they've been pushed around and taunted and stuff. So as a method of getting rid of this pent-up rage energy, they have vents in the side of their face that can expel it as a sort of ionized steam, but if it gets to be too much, it just comes out as a full-on, like, Great Ape Ozaru's, like, their mouth beams. It's like that. So when Ben has him as a transformation, he has to be careful not to get too mad, or else he may lose control. They're just on the brink of being, like, feral. Mantabolt is in the primordial tide pool, you know, they sprouted up as manta-like things, but they also had the evolutionary ability of a magnetic field, like an electric eel. They started to become the hunters of all the species there. As evolution goes, they became the dominant species of the tide pool, walked out. They start to turn that magnetic field into a form of electrokinesis. So that's how they hunt. They can breathe on air and in the water, but as the electrokinesis got a bit more potent in the dry air, they lost their ability to control their magnetic field within the water. So they have to completely deactivate it if they go back in the water, but they are much faster within the water. So Baltor wow, how did I pronounce it? It was Baltor. I think it was Baltor Petridians, yeah. They're kind of a fishing village. They sort of have this insulated scale around their tail, but they dip their head tails into the water and sort of shock fish that way.
So what was it like coming up with their voices?
I had thought of a voice for Bullwark already. I knew he was going to be like this rough, tough little guy. But I never really thought about Mantabolt. I wanted to give him a fishy voice. So
he sort of sounds like this. He's got, you know, a bit of warble in his throat. He slurs his S's,
and he's how I picture a big old fish would sound. The one thing I wanted to do that I was sad that we didn't get to do is those light up scales on him. I wanted them to, like, light up in different places at different times, like blinkers.
Oh man, I didn't even know about that.
That would be so cool.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You couldn't have known. It was something that I forgot that we had even talked about. But maybe and you know what? This is canon now. That's how they attract mates. If they
let me blink at you.
Yeah, the most impressive scale display gets the girl.
It's just like one of those electronic
yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
It just says, "Hey, baby."
It says dry cleaning 20% off now. Go inside for further details.
They have ones that advertise.
I I'm sure there's more, but it's been so long since I created them. I created these guys like 7 years ago. So I've been trying to catalog everything in this giant list. These guys have seen the other 300 aliens that I've made.
Oh yeah, Kellen has this amazing like organized like list of all of his transformations
that no one will ever see.
We went through tons of aliens like before we settled on these two, and it was hard. We narrowed it down to like 12, and like even then we were like pretty much chose the ones that would like be the easiest ones to animate.
That's why I'm honored. I'm so honored you guys gave me my own playlist, because I want to fill that thing. Do you guys want to tease another one of the aliens while we're here?
Let's throw one on screen right now. Here you go. You guys are seeing this
one. We don't know which one we're throwing on. But it's there.
Well,
we don't know.
That's putting the pressure on you, Ryan, because you're the one who has to draw it.
Hey, no. I have concepts for some of them, but the official art has to be done by Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
There's another one coming soon named Slobberage that I'm excited for you guys to see.
That's the one, because I just need to color it, toss him up.
Slobberage?
There we go.
All right, send that.
Do the voice, Kellen. Do it.
Slobberage.
Perfect. There we go.
We're not going to explain him at all. We're going to let the wiki do that. Because, by the way, I have to shout out the wiki, whoever writes these things, because they make so much sense out of my nonsense. They are so eloquent in the way that they describe Bullwark and Mantabolt. Like, enhanced biology. I wouldn't have thought to call it that. I just said super strength. Force negation. Dude, I just said shield.
They do excellent work. They're always working on it every single day.
Thank you guys for your tireless efforts.
Now that we've covered how Mantabolt and Bullwark have been added to the 5YL legacy, let's break into the meat of the conversation, Chapter 9. Now, there was a significant amount of time that passed between Chapter 8 and Chapter 9's release, so Kellen, you probably had your own speculations on what was going to happen in this issue. After reading it, was Chapter 9 anything what you thought it was going to be?
Oh my god. Well, I did not expect Eon to turn into a freaking multi-dimensional god like that. I didn't think he was going to get that far. I thought he would get stopped before that. And I love how he ended up looking. I shrieked. I went, ah! when I saw him kill Animo. I was like, dude, why would you do that? Animo's so cool. Who was the guy who was the other guy that he killed?
Cooper.
Oh my god, Cooper didn't look good.
No.
Can we get a rest in peace Chris Pratt in the chat? You know he voiced him, right?
Yeah, in Ultimate Alien.
What? I never knew that.
Yeah, Chris Pratt is Ultimate Alien Cooper.
What?
Yeah, after I found that out, I went back and I rewatched the episodes. I was like, oh my god, it's so clearly Chris Pratt, but like I just didn't notice.
I think that was even Chris Pratt before Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, it was when because I mean, if freaking Star-Lord is going to be on Ben 10, that would be a big deal now. It's cool to see him in like the older roles before he became like, Andy and Star-Lord and all the big names he is.
Chris Pratt, come on a video and let us know how you feel about us killing your character.
Yeah, how did it feel to die in Infinity War and 5 years later?
That's so
Divinity, huh?
Yeah.
Who came up with that name?
It was me. I was bouncing around names for like a good year and a half. I don't know how I settled on Divinity. I think I was honestly just tired of thinking of names, but it clicks so well.
What were a couple other possibilities for names if not Divinity?
I know we kept trying to think in the terms of like time related words. Like I know at one.
Yeah, we almost called it Time Master.
Yeah, Time Master.
Like originally it was going to be a title instead of like more of a name. I wanted it to sound like a name though.
I know at one point I said Endless or something like that.
And he was absolutely the hardest character to design.
Dude, he went through so many iterations and outfits. The design itself was hard, but then the outfits that we designed for him, I think I came up with like at least 25 different outfits.
At first we were just gonna have him naked, so we designed his body first. I felt like people would probably like think it's a bit too silly to actually like take it seriously, so I was like, all right, he'll show up naked, but then he'll like turn his scarf into a full outfit. We tried not to go super far with 5YL, but it's definitely like we want to prove it's on another level. Like this chapter we almost had a character say the F word, and it would be the first and only time. It would be Cooper. Divinity asks him, repent to me. Cooper would look up at him and say, go F yourself, before dying. I had it written that way all the way up until maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I just felt like, you know what, with it happening this early on in the chapter, I feel like it sets too weird of a tone. It's just gonna kind of come across as like a little bit too edgy edgy, like we're over trying or something. So we've been keeping in touch since we last had you on the 3-year anniversary stream, and after reading chapter 9, the very first thing you said to us was about Ben's new Saiyan form.
Oh my god.
So could you tell us a little bit more about your initial reaction and your thoughts on MonKi appearing and also Super MonKi?
I knew he was coming. Everybody loved MonKi in like the Discord and the comments, so there was an outcry for it. I knew he was coming, I just didn't know he was coming right then. And what an entrance. He came in with, full Saiyan pride. And then what really got me excited was seeing that when he turned Super MonKi, or Super Saiyan, or whatever you want to call it, he had a different costume too, which was a really, really cool addition. Like, because you didn't make him like a Saiyan, you made him like a combination. Your words were like a combination of all the super forms he could have to make something completely new, which I dug big time. And I like that he took on more ape characteristics as he got stronger. It sort of separated him from the clean-shaven men we see coming from planet Vegeta these days. He's a bit more wild and stuff. And then I love the 10-prong attack, the Deca Blast or whatever you called it.
Oh, the Deca Doom Cannon.
Deca Doom Cannon. That's so cool. What would you think he sounds like? Like Vegeta?
I'm sure Ryan could think of something pretty good.
Kind of a lower type of, powerful type of voice, I think.
I'd picture he's got the same feel as Vegeta, like the same kind of swagger as Vegeta, but he probably sounds like vocally a little bit higher. Probably still make Yuri Lowenthal him and just make him sound like very, very aggressive.
Well, we would tell him do Kick and Hawk, but higher.
The tricks is fixed, and thanks to you, I got me a new alien.
How do you feel about Vlad and Danny's awakening form?
That's interesting. I see when Vlad Plasmus, that always struck me as his awakening form because he was so ghost-like. But to see that they can go farther, it's intriguing, but it feels dangerous. Like how far can they go, and how far will they push it? I really like the design of Awaken. Is that the right terminology? Awaken?
Yeah.
Awaken Vlad. I love that mask on him.
That was me, thank you.
It's really cool. And I want to see more of what Awaken Danny can do. I've seen them for a second, and I'm curious on what they're going to be able to do next. Soarnitho, that was a surprise to me. Soarnitho? That's how it's pronounced? Soarnitho?
I say Soarnitho.
It's the word soar and the word ornitho, as in ornithophobia, which is the fear of peacocks.
So his powers, magic, is it literally just magic?
Whenever we were making him initially, that was the idea. But the whole thing with him that we thought, his species naturally overproduces mana, if that makes sense. Because everything makes mana. His species particularly makes a well above over excess amount. That's why Gwen was trying to use him as a booster in the chapter.
When it comes to magic is more, we treat it like it's a study or a practice rather than like a power. So like theoretically anyone can do magic, but Soarnitho specifically, because of his abundance in mana, it makes him exceptionally well at magic. But any specific spell he does isn't an internal power. Gwendolyn would have to sit down and teach it to him. But he does like have all the base things that like you could do with magic. Like he can just shoot out beams and stuff and do the shields and fly.
We gave him multiple arms so he can do different like Naruto style jutsu hands and stuff while he's doing magic.
With Gwendolyn's powers, one of the powers we gave her is her ability to summon these legendary beings from Ledger Domain. She has to go on like these great journeys to find them all, because Ledger Domain's like its whole dimension. Soarnitho is a sample of one of the beings that Gwendolyn just came across. There's like an actual Soarnitho out there. I don't know if he'd be an entire species or it's like the Suga-like Chromastone kind of thing where there's only one of them.
I like it being just the one. Are there any other beings like that Gwen's come across that Ben scanned?
It all depends on the level of intelligence.
Ones that she has already summoned like in previous chapters, I don't think that they would be like level or intelligence level enough to be able to be a transformation.
I think maybe the crab one, but definitely not the tree thing and the bird thing. How did you feel about the art style shift from the previous chapters to this one?
It's very Marvel. It wasn't hard to look at it at all. I found it quite appealing. I just, I favored the other one better, but I did like that with this turn of the story, the art style sort of complemented the change in tone, where everything feels a bit more hopeless and gritty. So I like that part of it. Was that intentional?
Well, at first, I wanted to switch the style of 5YL for a while, and it seemed like right after Divinity's birth, I guess, it seemed like it'd be the perfect time to introduce it, because like if there was a canon reason, Eon going Ultimate was so powerful it changed the art style of the universe, if you want to say that. And I wanted the art style to be something a little bit more natural to how I draw traditionally, and a lot of what I would do digitally is dictated by having to like use the fill bucket tool for coloring, and I've since changed my coloring methods. I just go back and like actually treat it like I'm using colored pencils or whatever. It does really set the tone a lot more serious. Like the characters, I feel like it allows them to look a little bit more expressive, a little more dynamic, and also it blends very well with Ryan's art. This is actually the first chapter he's done a significant amount of artwork that's inside the actual comic. When the sky starts to split, he does the cracks and the rainbow patterns inside of it, and when they enter the void inside of between the dimensions and the multiverse, he did all of the backgrounds for that. We had a whole system where I would sketch out the rough of the page, then I would draw the main characters and any objects they'd interact with. Then I would do a separate version of the page with notes and everything scribbled all over for him to look at. Then him on his own layer, he would do the backgrounds and everything. He designed it all too. Like it's 100% him. It's fantastic. We went through a couple of different renditions. He'd send it back to me, then I would just add a little bit, some extra blending and shadows just to make it look like it's all one picture. And then, yeah, it'd be ready to go. Yeah, no, chapter 9 is definitely like something you gotta read twice just because they're so, oh my god, if I have to draw lava one more time, like, that was a freaking nightmare. Like, I think I spent an entire week doing exclusively lava. Before it was sand. Chapter 8 was nothing but sand. What was your favorite cameo in the flash forward?
It's got to be Nigel. I was a big Goods Next Door fan, and hell, I'm still am. But seeing him was like, what? And seeing Jenny from Teenage Robot was freaking awesome.
Funny thing about Nigel, he was added last minute.
Oh yeah.
Originally in that spot, even the jet boots and everything was Professor Membrane. But I figured, you know what? There's a chance to add one more character here. Galactic Kids Next Door. That was something that everybody was advocating that never ended up becoming a thing. So I was like, you know what? It's got to be Nigel. Any final reflections or closing thoughts on the chapter or anything?
It was like a drag strip race. It was exciting from front to back. It was short, but every moment of it was filled with something that I could enjoy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Shout out once more to Kellen coming into this video with an excellent discussion. Always great to work with him and have him on the channel. Also like to thank all the patrons this month. If you guys like to join, it's only $1 a month. We also have new merchandise in our shop down below, and we hope you guys will stick around for more content in the future. But until then, keep it fizzy.